Earning his Ph.D. from Stanford University in 1964, Craig Barrett continued his postdoctoral academic career abroad. Barrett returned to join the faculty of Stanford University as assistant professor. In 1974, he joined Intel as a technology development manager. He soon progressed to the position of vice president and then executive vice president. Continuing to take on greater responsibilities, Barrett was elected to Intel's board of directors, becoming COO in 1993, Intel's fourth president in 1997, and then CEO in 1998. Since 2005, Craig Barrett has served as Intel's chairman. Today, he is also actively involved with Intel's foundation, helping to bring computer literacy to educational institutions in developing nations.
My grandfather was a shipboy from Russia and stopped off in Ireland and met my grandmother, and they came to the U.S. separately, met up, got married, ended up in San Francisco. My dad worked for Shell Oil, trying to get the lead out of gasoline. My mom was a nurse's aide secretary. During the period of time of my father's illnesses and such, we moved in with my grandmother. Melanomas are really kind of bad in terms of metastasizing and spreading. The doctor removed it, didn't do a proper biopsy, and the cancer spread, and it was a long, slow, painful death that resulted in the amputation of his arm, then the amputation of his shoulder. My last memory of him was in the hospital bed. He weighed probably less than 100 pounds. It was, deathly white color, so it was not a particularly pleasant final memory of him. I was about 10, and it was, I think, a very difficult time. My mother remarried, and my stepfather worked in the garment industry in San Francisco, and not a particularly high-paying job. So the family really scrimped and saved to get along. Back in the old days when there weren't allowances or that sort of thing, if you wanted money, you mowed lawns, you delivered papers. I worked as a laborer in the construction industry in the summertime. My mother instilled in the children, get the best possible education you can. That's the key to the future. That'll open any of the doors. I started out in high school wanting to be a forest ranger. I ended up getting a scholarship to Stanford. Stanford doesn't have a forestry department. The closest thing to that was the engineering school, so I ended up majoring in engineering. After 10 years of teaching at Stanford, I got a little bit bored with just doing basic research. I wanted to see my research work have a more direct impact. So one day I took a leave of absence from Stanford and went to Intel.
As a young man, Craig faced some very serious challenges, but through his life, through hard work, dedication, hard study, and the leadership of some other adults, he rose to great success.
I think the challenge has always been to not be afraid to learn new things, to tackle new tasks, to make transitions, and to reach out, stretch yourself a little bit.